Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. I am back with another episode. Strange things do happen in this world. There is a message that I received. It was sent to us by one of our dear sisters. She was saying that, Brother Nashi, please do not reveal my identity and do not reveal from which country that I come from. The message reads like this. Hello Brother Nashi, can you please post for me? I am a lady who is currently aged 41. I am childless and I am a widow. My husband died when I was only 28 years old. And ever since that year that my husband passed away, I have been mourning for my husband as if my husband died just yesterday. And as for me, mourning over my husband in such a way, it is not because I miss my husband or anything, but I do this so that I can just stay alive for one more year. I don't know for how long I'll be allowed to perform this ritual, but on the exact same day that my husband passed away, which was in April, I have to cry and I have to mourn over him as if this is the first time that I'll be receiving the news of his passing away. Some things are so hard to explain, but what I do is that I have multiple properties, and for a year I have to keep one of my properties unoccupied, and it doesn't matter if this property of mine that I have to keep unoccupied for the rest of the year, even if it is an office space, an industrial complex, or an residential area, this I have to keep for a year. So what I do is that I rent out this property to myself, and after I have rented out this property to myself, then I will pretend as if I am mourning for my late husband, and I will then use that property throughout the year, because regularly I have to go and visit that empty space that I would have rented out to myself for the rest of the year. And whenever I visit this property of mine that I would have rented to myself, I'll pretend as if I am visiting a graveyard so as to go and check out the place where they buried my husband. Sometimes I go to such an extent that when I go there, I cry as I'll be kneeling down as if I am crying whilst looking at my husband's grave. But this thing, my brother, it is only imaginary. It has a sense in the spiritual world, but in this physical world, if you ever see me performing this ritual, you will never be able to understand. But if there is anyone that would see me, someone who has their spiritual eyes opened, then they would understand what exactly that I'll be doing. So I started using some herbs. This was after I had started experiencing hardships in my marriage. At first, when I started using these herbs, I thought that maybe I was the one who was at fault, because my husband, he kept on verbally attacking me at each and every opportunity that he could get. On some nights, my husband would try to make love to me, but when he would fail to be intimate with me, he would end up blaming me, saying that I was the reason as to why he could not be intimate with me. And the other reason, he was saying that I was too much of a trouble for him, even though he never showed me how I was too much a trouble for him. He kept on insulting me. In the end, when I was still married to him before he had passed away, I was always confused until I started using all of these charms. Brother Nashi, me and my husband, the more that we stayed together, the more that I realized that our love was now growing cold, and being married to my husband was really painful. I grew so thin because of the pain and the heartbreak, even though I was still married to my husband, but my heart was no longer with him, even though I was still his wife only on paper, but emotionally I was not in that marriage anymore, because deep down I could see that our love had turned into hatred. All along I had been suspecting that there was a problem somewhere, but I kept on suspecting that my husband was having an extramarital affair but I could not quite figure it out as to who exactly my husband was dating. So I searched for such a very long time, and my husband was very careful about it, that by the time that I caught him cheating, it was with someone that I never thought that he would end up cheating on me with, until I found out that he had gone chasing after his co-worker. When I caught my husband cheating, it then drove me to do those rituals that are called love me only rituals, or look at me only rituals. I had previously approached this other elderly woman who had given me some charms. So when I had approached her at that time, when I was still going through that process of trying to find out as to who exactly my husband was cheating on me with, when I had approached that lady, she had promised me that she was going to give me some herbs that were very powerful. And yes, after she had given me those herbs, I saw that indeed this woman, she knew everything that she was doing, because she gave me the charms, and after she had given me the charms, she told me that the charms would assist me to know who exactly my husband had been cheating on me with. And after I had bathed myself with her charms for some time without the knowledge of my husband, I finally caught my husband cheating. So the expose me charms that had been given to me by that spiritualist that I had been in consultation with involved me picking up the soil from my shadow. So this thing of me picking up my soil from my shadow, I had to do it 3 times a day. 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. What I'll do is that as soon as my husband would have left for work, I would then wake up and stand in the sun, and I will watch where my shadow will be on the ground, and I will place a mark at that place where my shadow would have been on the ground. After I had placed a mark, I would then pick up the soil and put the soil in a 2-liter bottle of water that I would drink as per that woman's instruction. This thing, I did it, my brother, because I was trying to save my relationship and to save my marriage, and I wanted my husband to stop cheating on me, even though that lady who was assisting me had told me that these expose me charms that she had given me to use, they could end up me getting a heartbreak, because my husband was going to eventually expose himself to me. But I was ready, Brother Nashi, at that time, because in my heart, my husband, I really loved him so much that I had told myself that I was going to forgive him. So after I had picked up the soil 3 times a day, what I was supposed to do was that I had to put the soil in a 2-liter bottle of water, and I would drink as per that woman's instruction.